Let me pose a question. I want you to think about, over your career, every single initiative you have ever seen launched on anything in any organisation, what percentage do you genuinely think got not to, but anywhere near full and successful completion to deliver the benefits anticipated? Roughly. Okay? Everything you've ever seen, every organisation you've ever worked for, what roughly got anywhere near that level? Okay? I'm going to start at 100%. I want you to put your hands up when I get to the percentage that you think got to that level. 100%. Oh, that's disappointing. 90, 80, 70, 60, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10. You agree with everyone else. I've been asking that question for about 2.5 years of leaders around the world. Ballpark answer is somewhere between 25 and 35% on average, which is supported by a number of studies. Think about what that's saying. That's saying that in terms of most people's experience throughout their career, somewhere between 65 and 75% of all the things started didn't work properly. I would suggest, ladies and gentlemen, that that is the elephant in the room that we're not even talking about. Because if we have organisations where only 25 to 35% of things we try and implement work properly, before we shove another initiative down the same pipeline, should we not be asking how we can make the pipeline more successful? The question is, why is it not happening? From everything I've seen over my career, the reason it's not happening are those simple things that we all know and love. Basic skills, lack of alignment, poor communication, lack of engagement, bureaucracy, silo working and thinking. And the data would suggest that. What is the problem that I think is going on? I think it's simply this. I think it's great strategy falling on the barren ground of leaders who've not been given the skills, motivation or understanding to deliver the success that's possible with either HR activities, strategy or anything else. If you have 60% of the leaders in your organisation who don't really care, 25 to 35% of initiatives being anywhere near successful, are you really getting full benefit from your talent management strategy? Here's a view of an expert. Pleasure in the job puts perfection in the work. Which of our leading business stroke HR thinkers do you think said that? Leading business thinker, forward thinker. Who do you think said that? Any thoughts?
Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs. Who else? Anybody else? Richard Branson's another one that often comes up. Yeah, that's getting closer. The point being that what people want out of work, irrespective of all the digital stuff that's happening, irrespective of the change that's happening now and will happen in the future, people have always wanted the same out of their work, out of their lives. They want to contribute, they want to add value. That's not determined by the external environment, that's determined by what's going on up here in terms of the wiring. Now, how can we make things more successful? This is how I think we can do it. I think HR can suggest to organisations we need 3 steps to significantly add value to organisation. 1, what I call the firm foundation. 2, getting the best from everybody so they care about the result. 3, focusing that effort on what delivers success. Okay, I worked with David McLeod on the Engaging for Success report, and I kept saying to David, engagement is great, but the question is engagement for what? Everybody has experienced engaged people doing slightly the wrong thing. Enthusiasm is great, but it needs to be directed enthusiasm. Who does this? Fundamentally, the responsibility is individual leaders, and we in HR need to get that across. Yes, organisational support and example from senior leaders, and support for development from HR. But if we just say to the business, if you want to be more successful, you need to do those 3 things, and we as HR can help you do that and be more successful. Step 1, firm foundation to deliver success. Because if you don't have a firm foundation, I believe you have a problem. What is the firm foundation? Firm foundation is this. Does every leader in your organisation have the basic capability around time management, prioritisation, delegation, communication and feedback? Okay? Time management. Lack of time management training at basic level in organisations is why 40% of line managers, when asked by their boss how long a task will take, underestimate by 40%. Because they guess. Because they've got no framework to give an accurate answer. For those of you that have done project management, it's blindingly obvious. But in most organisations, it doesn't happen. And then they're confronted with a little dilemma. What do I do? Do I go back to my boss and say, I'm an idiot? Or do I go to the team and say, ladies and gentlemen, the next 3 weeks are going to be very, very busy, and try and force 40% more work out of them over 3 weeks with the consequent risk, stress, etc., etc. Let's just check this one. Okay, delegation. How many of you in this room at any point in time in your career have ever had any formal training in terms of how to delegate on a day-to-day basis? Please put your hands up. 3. I did this on Monday. 600 leaders of the sports business. 600. 8 hands went up. Are we not slight? Now, okay, you know how to do it now because you've worked it out through a process of trial and error. That's why you're in this room. But if you had been given that capability on day one when you became a leader, how much grief would that have saved? How much opportunity would that have given you to be more effective and get here faster? When I'm running a masterclass and I say to people, you know, I get those sort of figures, I say, hey look, do you want to spend 15 minutes doing a delegation exercise? And I'll show you how you can save a bit of time. On that delegation exercise, I guarantee in 15 minutes, I save every single person in that room at least half a working day a week, which they can then spend inspiring their people. My point is quite simple. If everybody could delegate more effectively and learn to do it in under an hour and save half a day a week that they could spend on doing things that really mattered, would that not be perceived as a benefit that HR had delivered if HR helped them do that? The firm foundation is critical to success because it enables leaders to be in physical control of the task, not firefighting all the time. If you're in physical control of the task, then it gives you self-confidence. Then it gives you that more time to focus on the people, which then gives you time to inspire. That inspires the team in terms of their confidence, but it also gives you more flexibility. What I'm saying is here, this is so mind-bogglingly simple stuff, but it hasn't been done in most organisations, but it has a significant beneficial effect on performance and subsequently bottom line.